Hello everyone, and welcome to the Flourish workshop, brought to you by the UW Oshkosh Counseling Center. Today's session will be focusing on social connection and how that affects our overall well-being, some tips and tricks to become more socially connected, and what are the benefits of social connection. The Counseling Center utilizes the Flourish model, and flourishing means feeling good and functioning well. Another definition of flourishing is by Corey Keyes, and it says, living within an optimal range of human functioning, one that connotes goodness, generativity, growth, and resilience. Flourishing is comprised of social well-being, emotional well-being, and psychological well-being. This session will explore how important social connection is for our ability to flourish. A part of exploring social connection sometimes requires some vulnerability. Becoming vulnerable is the first step, and we recognize many circles of friends and families do not encourage emotional vulnerability. So becoming comfortable with emotional experiences can be new for some. We encourage you to step outside of your comfort zone and reach out to others to encourage that connection. Taking the risk to reach out can make all of the difference in social connection. So what is social connection? When researchers refer to the concept of social connection, they mean the feeling that you belong to a group and generally feel close to other people. Scientific evidence strongly suggests that this is a core psychological need, essential to feeling satisfied with your life. And next, we are going to be watching a video on social connection.
If you talk to someone that has recently moved, started a new job, or retired, and ask them what they miss most about their past situation, one of the most common answers is that they miss the people that were in their life. What that actually means is that they miss the social connections or relationships that they had with those people. Social connections or social interactions with other individuals is crucial to mental health, which in turn is crucial to overall health. The lack of social connections has shown to increase stress hormones, weaken the immune system, and lessen cardiovascular functions. People who are lonely tend to consume more alcohol, exercise less, have less quality sleep, and fatigue easily. Social relationships allow you to share your achievements and have support when times are tough. Imagine achieving a long-term goal you had. What's the first thing you want to do? Tell someone, of course. Or imagine if something terrible happens. Not having someone to lean on and talk to can make that event linger and make you feel even more isolated. Giving support in relationships can actually be more beneficial than receiving support. When someone shares something positive in their life with you, it's a compliment. They wanted you to be a part of their success, and they know that you have a sincere interest in their life. And when someone shares a tragedy in their life, you know they really trust you, and they're looking to you to help them through this difficult time. Now, some social relationships can be bad. A person that is constantly negative and has a poor outlook can bring you down and cause stress, making that relationship toxic. Someone that always talks about themselves and makes all of your interactions about them, well, that's not really a social connection. In that case, you're just an audience member in their one-person show on how wonderful their life is. Poor marital or poor relationship quality can also weaken the immune system and erode physical health. Dealing with stress from a poor relationship can lead to over-consuming food or alcohol, smoking, or taking medications to deal with the stress, which in turn can damage systems in the body. Connections through social media can be beneficial by allowing you to stay in touch with friends and family. However, social media connections are not a good alternative for face-to-face, in-person contact, and too much time spent on social media can lead to more isolation and a greater feeling of loneliness. It's a good practice to use social media in moderation. To be healthy, we need people in our lives. It doesn't need to be 5,000 Facebook friends, and we don't have to have everyone like us. Having strong social relationships with just a few people is fine. A few people that we can share life's good and bad moments with, a few people that we can connect with on a regular basis with no stress and no judgments. A few people who accept us for who we are. Surround yourself with good people, folks. Good people.
So how do we make social connections? Many of us might find it difficult to connect with others, but putting ourselves out there to connect will help us to flourish. So when we meet someone, we can connect through similar interests or values or hobbies. So we've included some tips and tricks to be able to help you connect. So be genuine and authentic. There's some freedom to this aspect, right? So being able to be free to be who you are, your authentic self. Be in the present. This is also really important for social connection and being able to nurture that relationship, is to be able to show up for somebody. Have a story to help you connect. This kind of relates a little bit back to the vulnerability aspect of social connection. So try putting yourself out there by sharing a story or two about your background, about where you've come from. Find your courage and pay extraordinary attention. Ask good questions. Being able to ask some questions about another person can help strengthen and deepen that relationship. Some questions might be maybe about their background a little bit, or their culture, or where they come from. Have the mindset to learn and look for the good. This one can be challenging sometimes, especially if there's that lens of negativity, or, sometimes it can be easy to see the bad. But being able to rewire our brain by actively practicing looking for the good can really help nurture and strengthen that friendship as well. And show that you care by offering support. So I encourage you to maybe think about a time where you might have been struggling with something or going through a challenge in your life. And who did you reach out to? And did they offer you support? And if they did offer you support, how did that make you feel? Right? So being able to kind of put ourselves in somebody else's shoes. If they're struggling with something, how did you feel when you were offered support? And maybe try that with that friendship or relationship. There are an abundance of benefits that we can gain from social connection. The pleasures of social life register in our brains much the same way physical pleasure does, and our knack for social connection is reflected in some of the most basic ways humans communicate, by subtle uses of our voice, facial expressions, and sense of touch. Scientists believe we are essentially wired to connect with other people because natural selection favored humans with a stronger propensity to care for their offspring and organize into groups. So based on dozens of studies, here are just a few miraculous benefits of social connection. Strong social connections can strengthen our immune system, help us recover from disease faster, support us to recover from surgery quicker, reduce anxiety and depression, increase self-esteem, make us more trusting and empathetic, boosts longevity by 50%, and impacts us positively on a genetic level. So going through this workshop so far, I have a couple questions for you to reflect on. Are you socially connected? So thinking about your life, do you have social connections? Can you think of maybe an area that you might want to increase that social connection? And the second question to reflect on is, what kind of interactions contribute to social connectedness? So thinking about interactions in your life or in the past, what kind of interactions contribute to that social connectedness? No matter where you are living, you can find ways to connect with others in person or even virtually. Here are a list of ideas that have been shown to be helpful with connection, especially as they relate to how to become socially connected on campus. So leave your door open. Maybe join a student org. Start a group chat with friends to keep in touch. Attend campus events and watch for emails. Join a spiritual community. Introduce yourselves to others in class, at events, etc. Maybe join a study group. Volunteer. Volunteering is not only good to be able to get out of yourself for a little bit, but it also can introduce you to other people. Or maybe even consider Greek life. Are you doing any of these? Are there any other ideas that you could come up with for how to become socially connected on campus? The other excerpt on this slide is from the article, Why Other People Are the Key to Our Happiness. And it reads, the interactions we have with other people affect the way we feel about life. Our close relationships keep us grounded and influence both happiness and the sense that we are part of a larger community. Interestingly, even our interactions with people we do not know that well give us a sense that we are part of that larger community. When we are first introduced to that community, those interactions and the feeling of belonging also increase our happiness. So now that we've gone over what social connectedness is, some of the benefits that we can gain from, having those social connections, how it affects the overall health and well-being, the emotional health, the psychological health, there are a lot of exercises that could be beneficial. So the Greater Good Science Center has found that this simple 15-minute activity can help us feel more connected. The link to this exercise is included in the video description below. And we've also included a few other ways that you can connect with your friends, like possibly making a virtual date with a friend to be able to stay connected. This could be through FaceTime, it could be a simple phone call, just something to be able to practice that social connectedness. And lastly, seeking to connect through interests such as book clubs or a gaming club or something that interests you. So I encourage you to take some time to think about how you might be connecting right now and how that makes you feel. So now that we have completed the social connection workshop, I encourage you to take a little bit of time to reflect on what you've learned today, maybe how it resonated with you, thinking about what you took away, what was the main point, and also encouraging you to think about what you might be able to do this week. So having that goal of how can I be more socially connected this week, right? So all of the benefits that come from social connection, the increased happiness, the reduction in anxiety, the reduction in stress. I think most people want to be happy and want to be stress-free. So even thinking about just some actions that you're able to take this week to kind of help nurture that social connection. And lastly, why is it important? How will it be good for you? Sometimes we don't really know the benefits until we try it out, trying something different, putting ourselves out there a little bit. So thinking about those benefits again of what it's going to bring you, what the science says about it. So I just wanted to thank you all so much for participating in the social connection workshop. If you have a minute, if you could please take the evaluation that is listed in the link below. Thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.